Are we okay? We got to fucking... We've got to do the fucking shit that we need for fucking drug abuse. No! No! Are you listening? Oh, you're gonna like this. You're really gonna fucking like this.
Sean here. I wanted to freestyle on this terrible rainy day here. I started thinking about some crap after I listened to a chat reading. I read the chat. Some of the things Lorne was saying and how he was saying them made me scratch my head. We have discussed the technology before, but something occurred to me. The way Lorne was talking about the technology, it just prompted me to remember times. Say you're speaking to somebody much more knowledgeable than you in an area, and you ask them a question. Let's pretend you're asking them about RAM. And let's say they tell you, well, it makes your computer run faster, your programs run faster. If you're running games, it'll run those faster. Generally speaking, they won't go any further than that. So why is that important? And why did that make me scratch my head? The reason I say that is Lorne at one point is trying to explain to Kayla everything that they're doing could get him in trouble, or get her in trouble, as groomers like to say. But I wanted to say he specifically mentions IPs. Before that, he's an idiot. He says, well, technically I can only get in trouble. Yahoo tracks everything and they'll see our chat. I can only get in trouble if we plan to meet. That's why we have to use a phone. Lorne, you freaking moron. You absolute 87. You just told her that Yahoo records everything and that you would have to make a phone call to plan to meet. Essentially saying, hey, we're using Yahoo now, but when we plan to meet, I'm going to use my phone. He doesn't think. That would have been recorded, Lorne, you stupid, whatever. But he mentions IPs to her, and he says, yeah, I'm not sure what IP stands for, but it gives your home, it's your internet, it gives your home an address. She thinks it's a physical address, but he clarifies for your computer. To me, whenever you say it's an IP, I don't know what it stands for, but it gives you an address, I feel like somebody was coaching him. And I often wonder, he talks about his neighbors in the chat log. They come over to borrow his phone and his computer. Once Lorne gets Kayla on the hook, he doesn't want them coming over anymore. He doesn't want anyone interrupting or discovering what he's doing, as he says, in a devious manner. And of course, Ramona tells him, you don't know what that means. But I wanted to say, I'm not sure, but I suspect that whoever those neighbors were may have been his source of information. Yes, I mentioned before, it could have been news stories or whatever. But this is a specific technical question, and I don't think Lorne's ever been technical. Now, Lorne knows what he knows. He knows the grooming techniques. He knows things that can get him what he wants. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about the fact that they come over to use his PC and his phone. If I was a predator and I wanted to get away with what I was doing, I would come over and use somebody else's computer back in the day. Now you can just connect the wireless somewhere, VPN, whatever you want. And yes, there are still ways to track you because you would have to use apps or whatever, but there are ways around it. Back then, though, you could just log in. Hey, I need to use your computer. Lorne's logged in to his messenger. Guy gets online, says, hey, talks to somebody. My name's Bob Johnson. We should meet, because I think Lorne didn't understand that predators outside of this moron, they generally move fast. They don't take a long time unless they are the gatherer predators who want those pictures and the videos, or they're producers, they want to take them, and then sometimes they travel to take them. But Lorne, man, he went into a full month of grooming. And he mentioned several times about ways that they can get caught. And he comes up with that cockamamie plan of, we're going to do this, we're going to break up. and do all of this. But I think 100% someone was coaching him. Someone was answering those technical questions, and someone knew what he was doing. Imagine I'm your friend, and you come to me and you say, hey, I mean, think about these questions you would have to ask. Hey, is there a way for Yahoo to track what you're saying online? Is there a way that they could trace anything back to your computer? What's an IP address? Is it better to talk on the phone? Can they record if you're using a mic? What about the camera? All of this. It would make me question, as your friend, why are you asking me this? That's what I would say. What are you worried about them, tracking you or whatever? Predators, they're private, but we're talking about 87 here. And Lorne, I can hear him saying this. Well, I kind of like this girl. She's a little underage, but we're not really doing anything sexual. She's really interested in me. We have a connection. And someone would be like, oh, okay. I might tell you, oh, okay. That's probably not a good idea, but they could use IPs or anything. And me, I would have probably said, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. They can use your IP. They can record your chat. And I tell you as a concerned friend, which I don't think anybody was ever concerned for Lorne, not even his mom. Someone had to know. And someone had to have been answering those questions. And if they were, as I just said, wouldn't they question, why are you asking me about this? What are you doing that you need to know this? If it was the neighbors, who I don't know if they were the only people that he had access to, or if Roy was with him, I don't recall, but I do know the neighbors. And I'm thinking to myself, they knew. These are people who were using his phone and his computer. Now granted, they may not have had it. But if you're Lorne, you're not very approachable. And I don't think people, even though Casey said that when he came bounding into the house and he was so happy and friendly, she felt at ease. It wouldn't take long for somebody living next door to realize there's probably dog poop all over the inside because he didn't take his dogs out a lot. There was like rot, I think, in that apartment. He didn't have a bed. That would be a warning sign. Stay away, he's a serial killer. And if they were using him for his phone and his computer, that's fine, because they couldn't afford it. But I do think maybe, I wish I knew who they were, maybe they were doing some of the same things, and maybe Lorne may have asked them some questions. Maybe they were using his computer, as I said, to do some of these things, and phone to do some of these things. They just got lucky and didn't hit up a PJ Decoy, which Lorne, I think, hit up a couple of them. Disney Girl and Kimmy Cocoa Puffs. So, he's not the brightest bulb, not the sharpest tool in the shed. But he is Lorne. And like I said, he did figure some things out. He did understand how some of it worked. But he wasn't smart enough to figure out that what he was doing was still not good enough. Had he brought somebody in and shown them the pictures, maybe he could have shown the first picture and they'd have been like, oh yeah, she's cute, I'm out. If someone's doing something illegal, people don't usually insert themselves, and a lot of people turn their head. And maybe that's what happened. Had he had a friend, if someone did know, they would have seen those pictures and been like, dude, that's not right. All of this stuff she's telling you, it doesn't make sense. It's too easy, Lorne. She's just going along with everything that you say. You better be careful. But, as we know, once Lorne got her on the hook, he started putting the towel under the door so his neighbors didn't know he was home. He wanted to isolate. He wanted to be naked all the time on that camera. Maybe I'll buy a light so you can see it. I just don't want to give him too much credit, but I do think he was asking questions, and I do think somebody had to have been like, dude, why do you need to know all this? Wouldn't you? To your friend? I would. And those are just my opinions. I'm not sure if yours match mine, but I would guess a lot of you would feel the same way. I also think downloading that stuff and getting it installed on your computer would require somebody that knows how to do it. I can't recall a time when Lorne Armstrong had a computer job, a tech job, where he would... I don't even know if he knows how to download an app or have a password or anything. I mean, he knew how to do YouTube videos, but if I remember correctly, he had somebody helping him to upload those. That says a lot about him. He got his camera set up, he had all that set up, and I think somebody helped him. I think somebody told him how to use the Yahoo Messenger. I think somebody told him everything, because everything in Lorne's life is somebody else. They have to help him, and once he gets what he wants, he doesn't need them anymore. So that's just my opinion. Somebody knew, somebody suspected, somebody helped him, and it wouldn't surprise me if somebody wasn't in on it, because he's not smart enough and he needs a partner in crime. He has to have somebody there. I don't think it was a woman, but I know Lorne probably wanted it to be a woman. Anyway, those are just my opinions. I love you guys. Jordan video coming out soon. I just wanted to put something out here on this, as I said, Wednesday, rainy day. Please like, subscribe, and share. You guys helped me hit 500 subscribers. You have no idea how much that meant to me. It's been a rough patch these couple of years, and I'm snapping out of it, and this is helping me, and so are you guys. I will talk to you in the next one.